235 passengers. I lied. We can do it. We can. I really, really like the French. Hey guys, Weedy Waffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines 2, playing our city of Second City. She's looking good. She's moving. She's doing great things. I know that for the past few episodes, really the past like 10, since we've been building out this side of the city, I know that I've been saying, oh my God, I can't get the train line over here. We're going to have to use a bunch of subways. And I just got to say, I don't love the subways. Like over here, we have a subway that comes underneath the river from this station here, Sheffield, which I will note. Here, let's just slide into this station here. I will note that the airport line at this stop has, nope, wrong one. It's this one, Sheffield. 150 passengers waiting. Like, people want to get to the airport all the way up here. So I placed this subway line, but in reality, like, this is becoming a little bit too low density to really have a subway line. We also have a subway line going this way, which goes underground and comes this direction, but we noticed early on, that you can't use a level crossing with a road on a subway line, which I wish you could, because these would be really cool, like regional rails. And I like that the stations are smaller than trains, but that's neither here nor there. So I was just kind of messing around earlier, the other day, last night, and I ended up like expanding Point Breeze a little bit here. You know, we just got a little bit of extra zoning here, just low density, something to kind of match Woodlawn. While I was messing around and just building out this little section of Point Breeze, if you notice, it's just some, residential, so it's nothing crazy. But while I was building that, I ended up accidentally messing around with the trains and figured out a way to get the trains over here. So this whole time I've been saying we can't do it. I lied. We can do it. We can weave the trains through. And here's what we're going to do. Now, we're going to need to use Anarchy for some of this, but not all of this. What I'd like to do is I'd like to take this train line here, weave it through Warehouse Bend, send it across the river, and then we're going to redevelop kind of this entire portion. We're probably going to remove this forestry area. To offset that, though, I think what we could do is place some additional forestry kind of along this river bend and place them in this industrial zone. But I think what we could do is bring the train line over, have a train station right here, kind of serving, we'll say, half of Point Breeze, all of Woodlawn, Cedar Junction, Noble Square. And then we send those train lines out and we can start turning them to create kind of like a regional rail system that we have similar to here in Philly. We always had that challenge because we have 3 train lines hugging this shoreline, and with them hugging this line in this way, it's difficult to branch one of these off and make it make sense. But I think we've unlocked it. So we're going to get started by doing a few crazy things. First, I'm going to just go ahead and delete this forestry industry. Say goodbye. You got to get out of here. We're also going to go ahead and I think I'm just going to delete the subways. I don't want them. Okay? I don't want them. Get them out of here. We're going to completely remove the subway line from our city. In hindsight, great idea, but I think it was poor execution. Now we're still going to leave the line that goes from Sheffield, Warehouse Bend, down this direction for the moment. You let me know in the comments if you think we should keep this additional subway line or if we should remove it. But for now, let's just disregard it entirely. Let's go ahead and click on this pathfinding issue, and let's just completely remove the airport line from our subway system. Okay. Now we've got a clean slate. We also need to make some adjustments here. All of these are zoned buildings, so I'm just going to let them be. I don't need to worry about those. But this here is our local police station. This police station covers essentially everything in this area. I want to redo this police station, and I would like to use some of the new Netherlands style buildings. So I think we're going to use that instead once we get this solved a little bit. While I'm thinking about it, if we can fit a regional rail over here, I don't actually think we need the tram. I just don't think it's necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this as well. So now there's no more tram line over here. Okay. Get ready. Here we go. I'm going to blow your mind. So I was messing around and I realized if I elevate this to 10%, Anarchy is currently off. I can take a train line straight through here to here. It's going to delete those buildings there. They will rezone. I'm fine with that. We're going to go ahead and place this. We're going to get 2 new buildings in there. We now have a train line cutting through above the road all the way through this direction and ready to go across the river. Now at this point, I do need to leverage some Anarchy. We're going to grab onto this. I'm going to send it out straight right here. But it's overlapping items because it's not able to put supports on this road since this road has keys or retaining walls along both sides. I think they're key walls. So I'm going to go ahead and turn Anarchy on. And we're going down 8.2%, which we don't want to go down that far. So I'm going to reduce this. And we're going to increase this. I'd like it to be pretty close to 0. If we go to 1.6 or 0.6, that's negative, that's positive. We'll keep it positive for now. Place this right here. Now the goal is to get it over here. So what I need to do is I need to turn on our curve tool, come to the 180, and I think go ahead and start curving something like this, maybe even further than that. If we go out this far and we curve it to about here, we're going up 2.4. I'm fine with anything that's at least shorter than a 5% grade change. This would take us back down to the ground, and we're only at 2%, which I'm fine with doing that. But maybe before we build this, maybe before we build this, let's go ahead and build a train station. So to get that prepared, see, I told you, I prepped a little bit. I started some of this work, and I realized, wait a minute, I'm sleeping on a huge change we can make that will benefit this city. Let's go ahead and flatten kind of a general area for our train station. And we're going to have to do some road changes here. We'll figure that out in time. And I think what I want to do is I want to use, I believe it was the French train station. Yeah, it's the French because it has 2 lines by default. So if we place this here, probably need to remove all these trees too. Let's go with the brush. Let's reduce the brush size to 70, but increase the strength. And just get in here. Let's remove all the trees that are currently stuck in. You know what? Actually, let's just remove all the trees because I have a feeling we're going to want to develop this today and we're going to have trees popping through, which we don't want. So now we have a train line. It's going to go this direction. I think I also need to momentarily remove really access to both of these roads. I know there are bus lines along these roads. They're just going to have to chill. They're going to have to figure themselves out. I can't help them. And we also have Honeybrook Street, but I think we can leave that alone. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a train line, turn Anarchy off for this, and I'm going to take the outer track and send that just straight along and through. Then I'm going to take this inner track and I'm going to curve this. Let's make sure it stays at the 180 as much as possible. I'm going to curve it up and in. All right, so now we have this second line going around. There's decent amount of space. I don't know if that's enough for an entire train, but I definitely want to connect it before Honeybrook. Maybe what we do is we send this out as far as we can. Oh, nope. Now that's just the complete wrong thing to build. We want to send this out far enough that we can curve in, but basically, like, let's curve it in as close to Honeybrook as we can. That way there's more than enough space for a train to hopefully sit here if needed. Okay, so now we have a train line going out this direction. We then need to get this train line to connect into here. Now, to do that, we're going to have to make some changes to this section as well. First and foremost, I'm going to just completely sever these connections here, which means that unfortunately the bus that goes down this way can no longer divert this direction. They have to come all the way over here and then go back over. Like, it's not pretty what this bus line is having to do. It's an absolute mess. But I think we might need to change the bus lines once we place down some of these stations. Now, right here, I'm going to flatten to this level. And I'm going to start to curve it out kind of this way. And it looks like we could take this to about here, and we're still flat. There we go. There we go. Now, moment of truth. What I want to do, since our rear lines are kind of the main lines, I want to keep that if at all possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to curve this over this direction, like so. Negative 2% grade change. I'm going to increase it a little bit so that we're closer to 0. There's negative 0.2% grade change. I'm fine with that. And then this is going to curve and connect directly into its friend. I know. This is crazy that we're getting this to work. That turn is a little tight, though. So maybe what we do instead of curving that first, let's curve from here first. If I throw Anarchy back on after that autosave, we can bring this out and over to here, and then we can curve it this direction. Just like so. If I bring it down to ground level, we're only at a 3.1% grade change, so I'm fine with that. It's crossing over the road there just fine. And then we go like this. Send this guy right up and in. It's going to be naturally slowing down anyway because we are close to a train station. We'll give that a natural curve as well so that they can easily transfer. Now, it does look like this particular line. I don't know if this being shaded is an issue with just it rendering the track, or if in reality part of this track does not work. I'm not going to stress about it yet. So now we have a new train line here. It connects up and over, except for it doesn't because these are absolutely not connected. So hold on. Crap. It's on curve. Now we're connected up here. They've got decent supports that cross over the other trains. Comes around this direction. Okay, great. Now we're going to connect this up into here, which I will have to eminent domain, unfortunately, a property for this. There's no way to build it without. But if I connect into here, I don't even technically need to turn it. I could just send this straight along. Now you might be thinking, this is all well and good, Weedy, but where is this even going to go to? Actually, you know what? I do think I want to give this a little bit of a curve. I think that's just going to look a bit nicer. If we send it at the 180 and then we give it a curve here, can we do that? We can give it a tiny curve, which I'll take something more than nothing. Okay. So now the train line comes over. It can make this turn a little tight, but if the game allows me to do it without Anarchy on, I'll take it. This is going to come down here. Now, the first train station on this stop is right here. The only thing to note, which, first of all, wow, this upgraded to level 5, and that looks amazing. The only thing to note is that right now, we've unlocked the art supply store. I don't know how we did that, but I'm not mad about it. All right, a neighborhood store that sells paper, textiles, and media. Very cool. This train station here, Boulder Hill, it has a train line that utilizes this, we'll call it the front track, but then switches over to the rear track. I really want to change this, and I'd rather this be entirely focused on the rear track. So if we grab our passenger train line and we move the passenger train line to here, then we do utilize both tracks. I really want it to be on one. I'm going to send this so that both of them are right here. This train station here in Boulder Hill is what is going to connect to our train station here over in Noble Square. So we have the Boulder Hill line, which is right here, and it goes from Palmer all the way down through the heart of the city, over to Trafford College, and then to Central Station. We then also have the Easton line, which presently goes from Central Station to Trafford College to Easton, and then I believe heads out of the city. No, it stops at Easton. We also have the Wells connection, which just goes from Central Station out of our city. And we have another line here, which is the Cypress line, which goes from Central Station to Cypress, moves its way all the way up this direction, and goes to Hammer Isle. So we've got a line going. I can't even zoom out any further. We have a line going from here all the way down through this side of the city, ending at Central Station. We have a line cutting through some of the densest parts of the city, ending over here in Palmer. And we have a line going this direction right now that eventually will continue once we start building more kind of residential areas and suburbs out that direction. Does that encompass everything? It does. And then we have the Wells connection. All right, so the Wells line is doing pretty well. It looks like on the way out of the city, we have 254 people. But even with that, on the way in, we have 180. So it's moving a lot of people in and out of the city, which is great. Do I have another rail yard? I do. You have 15 vehicles available and 10 are in use. So we have the capacity to build an additional line here. No vehicles are assigned to this line. Hold on, now I'm getting into other problems. We're coming back, don't worry. Hold on, we're gonna come back. Over here we have some buses, 35 buses, all of which are being used. We do have the option to add an extra garage, but in terms of just space, I don't know if that's really possible. We have another bus depot here, which has 35. I will go ahead and just give that the upgrade to make those electric. Again, though, I don't think there's really space for us to add in an additional depot for that. Here's another bus depot, but all these buses are also used. Now, this one, however, probably could fit an additional expansion, but I think, knowing we're having problems, what we'll do is we'll add another bus depot into this area once we get a bit further with our train lines. So let's finish the train line first, and then we'll come back to fix the bus depot. So what I want to do, I want to review what colors we have. We have an orange line, we have a blue teal line, we have a yellow line. I think we need a kind of like a purplish color. Doesn't have to be perfect purple, although that would look actually kind of nice, so I think we're going to stick with it. What we're going to do is we're going to take a line. Oh, I'm so pumped. We're going to take it from this section of Boulder Hill. It's going to share a separate line, so it's not going to have to interfere with anything. And it's going to come right to here. And for now, it's as far as it's going to go. It's going to go there, and it's going to come all the way back. Bam. So they actually don't ever cross over, except for right here where they briefly do, but that's okay. So now we've got a purple line heading out this direction. I will note, it's hard to see. Let's make it more pink and as bright as we can get it. So now we're going to have a new line going this direction, which is so exciting. We're going to see how many people actually come here and wait. Now, this is the waiting room extension, 2 additional buildings that provide waiting space and services to the Voyagers. Additionally, this upgrade extends the platform canopies to shield a larger area of the train. 30,000 bucks? Do it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to continue to expand this. So we removed the subway and we removed the tram. So none of this area have access to major rail networks. What I think we plan to do is I think we take a train line, and now some of this might change, okay? Some of this might change. I really, really like the French, but I think at this point we're going to switch down to maybe a medium train station or an EE train station. This can be upgraded with station services and a ticket machine. This small train platform with 2 tracks. Actually, you know what? I mean, I'm just curious. Would this even fit here? No. The new New England train station, Netherlands train station definitely will not fit here. It would just take up so much of this space, and 3 lines headed this way doesn't make sense. We'll have to save this for another place. So the medium train station can be upgraded with station services and a ticket machine. The EE train station, platform with 2 tracks, I don't believe it can be upgraded in any way. And the small train station can be upgraded with ticket machines. We also have the base game train station. It can be upgraded with extra platforms, station services, a subway interface, and a taxi stop. Or the local train station, extra platforms, modern entrance, platform roof, and underground subway entrances can be added. I do have to say, I find it interesting that for most of these, they say can be upgraded with, right? That's how the language they use. And then over here, they switch it to just a list can be added. Let's do the modern. Why not? So I want to bring up our view here of our ground. So what I'm thinking is there's a train station here. We rework the bus routes so that they fan out from the train. But then I think we have another train kind of over in this direction. I don't have a road yet over here, but I'm going to place this train where the road is relatively flattest. Place a train station right here. Looks pretty nice. We can give it a underground subway interface. Modern train station entrance provides a larger entrance hall for the public to rest or visit a restaurant while they wait for the train. 80,000. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is a new train line. We're going to build that. Adds roofs to the platforms for citizens. Yep. And an extra platform. Wow. Oh, crap. That adds 3 extra lines. I don't think we need that yet. But we're going to place a train station here. So this train line will come to here. Then, and that's going to serve kind of this general area. Then I think we either have another train up this way, or we just go ahead and place one right in front of the airport. My only concern with placing it directly in front of the airport is I don't think it would actually be right in front of the airport. And I want to send a highway right along here. So I think that the train station would need to come off of this road here. I'm going to place this right here. Don't worry, we're going to connect the roads up and everything. I am going to give it this new entrance. I'm going to give it this as well. But now we're going to take these train lines and get them connected. Now, I will note these train lines may change over time. Like, I'm building these before I actually ever need to use them. So they may not stay this way. I'm mostly going to be concerned with our grade change. So this is a 4.1% grade change. It's actually a pretty decent curve. I don't mind that. We're going to keep these constant slope. Where I can, I would love to send these out straight. If I were to send this out straight like so, it's at 5%. Can we get to 4.9? We can. If I go here, we can get to 4.8. So what if we were to do 4.6? I even like that more. 3.4. Then I think we can consider doing our curve here. I'm going to have to figure out how to make our kind of interchange that we're going to end up having here. We'll do that in a second. This comes out to 1.3, which is not bad. Let's send that straight on up. Then what we need to do is send this straight on out. Ooh, but it's a little high. Little high. If we were to terraform some of this land, say I brought this out like this, and then we went with a slope tool from here, kind of over to here. Maybe we go further than that. What does that look like? If my train were to follow that. 4.5. Not bad. So now we have a train connecting over this direction, and we can take this train line, this pink train line, and edit it a little bit further. We can now take this stop, bring this all the way up here to here. We'll then have a double stop here. At the moment, there's nothing here. It's just going to actually ride right through. It doesn't need to stop there just yet because there's no need for it. We'll then have this train line stop here and stop here. Okay, and there's a reason we're doing that. We're then going to have another train line, I think over here in Easton, but we'll come back to building that. Let's kind of rectify some of the mistakes and challenges I've created first before we go further with an expansion of this type. First and foremost, this particular train station is not going to be useful if nobody can actually get to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a road, I think, just larger than the train on both sides. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to change this up into a one-way road that's going this way. This can reduce down to being only a one-lane one-way road so that we then have access to additional parking in the front. What would trees look like along this road if possible? They could go here and it would stop parking from that side. Let's go for apple trees as mature and place them here along with here. Don't worry about the parking on these two sides. That's where we're going to end up putting buses. All right, with this in place, let's go ahead and make some corrections to this area because I've made a lot of changes here. First and foremost, let's get Thornton Street to connect over to Autumn Street. It should stay Autumn Street. That's my preferred. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back Autumn Street up pretty far. And I'm going to replace it. We can keep it with constant slope on, but we have to get it high enough that it can cross over this train line. So we're going to go to 10, and we're getting to there. We're going to go right at the 180, turn everything off but our angle snap, cross right on over, and I think we could probably start to reduce this, even down to the ground. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to use our curve tool, snap on our... Oh, that was the 90. Whoopsie, my bad. Snap to the guidelines again. Curve right on into here. That's great. I do also want to make a change to this road. I want to turn this into a asymmetrical road starting here. So here's how this is going to work. Turn on all of our snap twos. This section is going to have 2 lanes on the left side so people can turn over onto the bridge. And then we'll switch over to a 2-lane going this direction. The 2 lanes will continue. They'll cross over this bridge as 2 lanes, sending people out this direction. When we get up here, we're going to stay with the 2 lanes. And I think we're going to keep 2 lanes kind of going all the way through this entire area. This whole block, I'd love to split this so there's a dedicated turn lane. Can I do that with minimal, if no, issues? If I place this little road here, I should be able to switch this around so there's a dedicated turn lane and then keep that going that direction. We can still then come in here, remove that tiny little piece. Perfect. We're going to upgrade this to continue out this way with 2 tracks going towards the airport. We'll offer another turn lane since this road cuts all the way through to the Oasis Golf Course. And then we'll switch back so we have an additional 2 lanes there. These 2 are going to go just like so. We might lose a house or 2 here. That's okay. And then right here, we're going to increase that as well. Perfect. You need to get out of here. You're not going to work in that current orientation. That's great. We do have a traffic accident here, but now we've got a new connection here. We did sever this connection from Woodlawn. So unfortunately now Woodlawn only connects to Autumn Street from here, which I don't like, which means I do need to find a way to reconnect this into Woodlawn. Unfortunately for the people who live here, what that likely looks like is me going from here, curving straight up behind their homes, turn everything off, send it just behind them, and then we're going to turn back on our guides and curve right back into where we started. Really, I want this to curve like this, and then from here go straight. Straight up and in. Perfect. Now with that, I can make some other changes here. We can go ahead and remove the key wall that's on that side. This road now comes all the way through. Now we have to figure out how we're going to reconnect here into Noble Square, and I think I know what I'd like to do. I'm going to transform kind of this little section of Evergreen Street. Since it's only a 1-block road, I don't feel terrible about removing some of these homes. So we're going to just completely dezone all of these guys here. I do not want to delete the bus stop, so hold on. There we go. Get rid of all that. We're then going to change this road entirely. So Evergreen Street's just going to disappear for now. I don't know why that messed that guy up, but you can rebuild. And instead, I'm going to send an asymmetrical 3-lane road out of here, straight on out, but we want to bring it up to 10 so that it can connect across this road. Maybe 875 will work. Let's try that. Does that cross over? If I increase it to 10 here, it does. Send this here. Then I think we have to make changes here as well. So let's bring this back down to 0. Just for the moment, slap in another connection. We can then remove both of these sections. Get rid of all the buildings that can't handle it. Sorry, guys. You'll figure yourselves out eventually. I can't help you. Okay, 2 lanes. Then the 1-lane road, complex curve. We're going to go straight. We're going to turn over, and we're going to connect right up and in. Beautiful. Now, because there's no turnaround this way, I think we can probably also get away with removing this light entirely. Just get that out of here. And I'm going to remove these crosswalks. Like, this is not the intersection where you cross over. This road can also disappear. And because of that, we have 2 lanes that then become 1 lane, which I don't think we need. So what I'd rather do is just upgrade this guy into a 1-lane road going that direction in Noble Square. Now, I do also think that this means I probably should get rid of this guy. It doesn't make sense at the moment. We're going to figure out how it works in a sec. But now we've reestablished this connection for Holly Street, Spruce Street, which upgrades or refixes what we had going on here with this train line, which again is probably going to change. So let's just accept that the train lines, the 2 bus lines here, I know we just built them, but they've got to be shifted. This guy now has how many people? 16. You have 67, and there's a total of 34 passengers waiting. I wish that we had some more homes here. And so what I think I'm going to do, go ahead and get rid of this. And instead, let's just place a road kind of straight behind it. Snap it to the 90. Right here, snap to the 90. Get rid of this zone. Let's also clear this out. What I want to see here instead is I'm going to need to use our pathways for this. I want to take this path right behind these houses. I'm going to send it straight on over to here, and we're going to leverage probably these guys. Okay, there we go. What type of house is this? Looks like it's southwest. So then let's grab our southwest houses. Go ahead and just give it a huge chunk right there. We can also fill in this section and this section. Let everything zone in, and then we'll remove the pathways. Let's go ahead and just double check. We've connected all of these up again. That all looks nice. I hate this intersection so much, but I'm not going to mess with it just yet. Actually, if there was a time to mess with it, it would be now. Because we've got the option to. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's grab our zoning tool. I know you guys are building brand new houses, and I'm sorry about that, but they're going to have to go. We're going to get rid of every house and every business along this side of the road and redevelop this little square. There's only single family homes here. I accidentally deleted the bus station. That's okay. In reality, it's going to be removed anyway, so whatever. Let's remove everything here, and let's just rework this. It's basically going to look exactly the same, but I just want to have a stronger connection from here. And I think that does it pretty nicely. And we had houses along this side of the high school. I think we're actually going to undo that. What is this guy? A post office and just a business? Yeah, I think we're going to leave this with maybe a business here on the corner. Low density, nothing crazy, but we'll have a business there next to the high school, and then we can work on how we want to incorporate that with trees and the surface change, etc. I don't necessarily want another intersection here, but what I want is for the road connection to come off of Glenrod Street. That's where I'd prefer this connection to stem from. So we could send this guy out straight ahead, right here to kind of the upper section here. We'll send over 2 roads. We'll go ahead and give them 2 small cul-de-sacs on both sides. Then I think we're just going to grab the Southwest housing and refill this whole area with Southwest. So it's going to match what was already here in some respect, but just kind of reorient it. Now we don't have people living right along the train line itself. Now here, where we do have the train line, I think this is a perfect spot to just slap in a bunch of commercial, because what else is going to go there? We don't want to have people living right along the back of that train line. I know that's flooded. That water will eventually disappear. It's just going to take 9 years. It's going to take forever. This looks pretty good. I do want to change. It looks pretty good until you realize how wobbly this whole thing is. It's kind of a mess. Let's make a few edits. Let's go ahead and upgrade that with a retaining wall. And then for this section here, I'm going to upgrade at least this intro piece with supports on both ends before it crosses over. Here it'll be the same, where it has a key on both ends. So that just looks like there's supports for the bridge. Now we've opened up this new area for Noble Square. And I think what I want to do is I want to change this up a bit. You know what? Now seeing this, get rid of that connection there. Instead, just send a road straight on out from here, straight over at the 180, and connect up here into Autumn Street. Gives us a bit more space for zoning. Can I fit a bus depot in this area? We have a local bus station, small bus station, bus depot. So there's only one bus depot. I feel as though the bus depot would go over this direction. What's our noise looking like in this section? They produce some noise. There's some noise produced here, but overall this could be pretty quiet if we were to just change this around to focus on homes. And I think we're going to do that. I think the way we're going to do that, though, is we're going to shift this over to be a keyed road. Do I also shift these to keys as well? I think I do. Now we have this section to work with. We're going to take an alleyway. Bring the alleyway up 4 units. Over here, we'll bring this alleyway up 4 units. And then we're going to curve this just like so. Curve, curve, and we'll send this straight across. This now will be a new neighborhood right in this section. We'll continue using the Southwest. We'll leave a space of 2 zonable tiles behind it. Without having parking along here, we have helped limit that noise a little bit. I don't think I'm able to put trees along this section anymore, but instead we'll put the trees kind of around this area. Okay. Noble Square getting some more residents. We love to see it. Now we got to do the bus. So I would like the bus depot to be right along the backside of our train line, because this is also going to be something that's loud. Let's go ahead and just carve out a space to build it. Beautiful. Over here on buses, we're going to use the bus depot here and basically just place it right along the back side. I think right here. Fresh new buses. Now I can't place 2 right along the edge, but I think what we could consider doing is having 1 here and having 1 here. And then we're going to make this work. We're just going to use alleyways. I don't think I need to use anything else. And this is like the little bus terminal area here where they can figure out what they got to do. We also should consider getting some parking down here. So what I think happens is we will place a key wall along this side of Garnet. This entire neighborhood is surrounded by key walled sections, which is fine. We're also going to remove some of the parking. I'd rather have trees along here just as a way of helping out with the noise. Do we think I can get away with removing these? Okay, great. Without messing anything up. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Fill those with some trees. That'll fill in really nicely. That'll look nice. I actually think I want to undo this guy. What I'd rather try to fit in here is one of these longer parks. One of these longer parking roads or parking sections. How many units is this? This goes 3 back. Buses can come down, make a turn, then they go left or right. If they're going into one of the garages, great. If they're not, that's fine too. We then need 3 tiles of space behind this, and we have it. The eyes have it. 3 tiles. Slap this puppy right in here. I do believe this has an exterior entrance as well. It does. Let me just do some quick tree work. Right, like there would obviously be trees spilling over this direction. Over here, we're just going to smooth this guy out. I might even leave it just wide open. No trees, nothing. Beautiful. This is saying it has no car access, which is strange because like it does. But let's go ahead and just remove these 2 guys entirely. I will give this a little bit more tree coverage here. Okay. We're getting our little bus network together, which is very exciting. There are currently 45 vehicles here and only 1 is in use, which means we should have now dealt with all of the bus issues throughout the city. And we've got a brand new train line cutting through this, John, which is amazing. Now, I do want to do one more bus or one more train connection, and that's going to be going this way. So this train is going to end over here in Eastgate. I'm going to remove those 2 roads. And what I want to do is I think I want to have this road here kind of curve up and next door to this taxi depot. We'll remove both of these guys. This is something I'd built, I think, off camera. It's just a big parking lot. And just expanded the power lines, put some gates around them. I did, for a time, have 2 industrial buildings here. However, both disappeared. So I'm going to place 2 industrial buildings there again. I liked the idea of just kind of interspersing a little industrial here and there, and that's just where it fit. All right, we're going to take this road. We're going to send this road straight on out. That's not straight. There we go. We're going to connect this road right up and in. We're going to remove this road here. I think right here is another train station. We have one here. We'll have another one here. This train station, though, is also going to be very small. I think we're going to even use the small train station. And then this is going to come straight on out from here. We're at 5.2, which we don't love. We don't love. Here's where 5 ends, so we'll place this here. Could we do this? 3.4. Not bad. Now, there's no world where this line would then need to go over this way. So I think we're just going to leave this like this branching tree for now. I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not, but we're gonna vibe with it. We're going to vibe with it. All right. This is going to have an additional train line here. I think this train is going to kind of match pretty similarly to what we already have going on, because in my mind, this train line could continue out this direction. So it's going to be serving a whole different community of people. We had a white, we had a teal, we had a yellow. We now have like a pinkish color, which I do not love. Maybe what we'll do is like a really vibrant aquamarine, if you will. We're going to have a stop here. It's going to head right on over here into this section. It's going to stop here on this front line, which is why we left that open. It's also going to share the same line and stop here as well. The question is, where does it stop? I think it stops here, pausing the Boulder Hill line. I think that's just a better one to pause. It'll then follow behind this other guy and use the same connection. Curve around this way and come over here and reconnect back up. Okay. Now what we got to do is name these guys. So, first one that we're going to name is Train Line 5. I don't like this pink color. I think this is going to actually go into more of like the red territory. I like that a lot more. I don't think I like this now that I'm seeing it in context of the other lines. I think this is going to go in more of like a steely kind of blue territory. Like that. Okay. So this line here is the airport line. And then this one here, we have an Easton line. I don't necessarily want to name this the East Gate line. I think what we're going to do is make a quick adjustment here. And we're going to name this line here that's going this way. If we're imagining the screen is currently facing north, we're going to name this the Southwest line. Or we could do this. We could do Boulder Eastgate. This is going to be, this is the Boulder Hill line, but in reality, I want to name the terminuses. So we have Palmer Central. Then we also have the Cypress line, which is this blue line. That's really going central all the way up to Hammer Isle. Airport line. The Easton line is going to be, there's the Boulder Central and there's the Easton Central. And that's on purpose. So Central's at the end of both, but it tells you where you're going from Central. The Wells connection, we'll just leave it that way. Boulder Eastgate tells you which two places this connects to. Boulder and then to Eastgate. And then the airport line is really just the airport line. And I think we've done a good job with the trains. Now we got to do buses. Buses. I think I want to go ahead and just make some straight up mulligan calls. Let's go ahead and grab the Eastgate Point Breeze line. Just go ahead and get rid of that. And then we also have the Cedar Orson Airport. Has a lot of passengers, but just ditch it for the moment. We then have this line here, which I really like. I think we can just make adjustments to the Cedar Junction line instead of fully overhauling it. So let's start with the Cedar Junction line. Right now, if I go here and I just view this line, close this off, we can see that Cedar Junction connects all the way down here into the heart of our Keats Industrial Port. It moves its way up and around, comes over this direction. It then works its way around Cedar. I think there's a better way to do this line entirely. And so what I'd like to do instead is I would like to take this line and send it up over this direction and into Cedar through Eastgate. To do that, I'm going to have to connect this road. This road's kind of been sitting here for weeks, and we've never done anything with it. So I'm going to take this road and I'm going to connect it right up into here. We're also going to extend this avenue connection straight on down for now to here. Now, there's going to be a new highway that comes off of here, and I think this will connect into this new highway, but this is kind of where that new highway is going to begin, and it's going to hug the back side of these train lines. So then we'll have this main highway that courses through the city here. We'll have this highway coursing this direction, and then we'll have another highway that comes along the back here and connects over here somewhere near Parker Industrial. I might even rework the Parker Incineration Center or plant and move that slightly off somewhere, maybe here, maybe over here. I don't yet know. We're going to figure that out in the next part. Now, we have this road connected up, so let's make some major changes to this line. At the moment, this line stops here. It's a lot of turning around for what it's doing, and I do kind of wish there was a better way to set this up. I think a faster connection into this area would be moving that bus line to here, letting the bus then turn around in the shorter of the piers to then come back over this direction. That bus then brings people over into here so that they connect either to really this incineration plant, the port, the rail yard, or any of these businesses here. It then comes over this way, and instead of turning here, this is now going to go this direction. It's going to come up and underneath the highway, and it's going to stop over here. Eventually, there will be a highway connection involved in all this, so I think this will be a little bit more valuable at that point. It's then going to come up and make this turn, and we're going to have it stop here in front of the train station. Then it's going to make this curve, and it's going to connect here in Easton. It's then going to continue further up and connect here in Easton as well. Is that too close? I don't think so. I think what I'd rather see is the bus stop here. Remove this entirely. We can skip another one here. It's going to then move up to here so that it's right in front of our high school. And then it will move over to here so it's right in front of our elementary school and our field. And then it will take one more stop. It's only a block away from this train station. And this last stop, I think it will go over here into Woodlawn. Or maybe it will come down here in Woodlawn. Or it actually takes this turn, leverages this stop, and then does one. Maybe we move that stop. Maybe this goes here instead. A little bit more centralized so it's supporting Hawley. Then it's going to find a way to turn around, and it's going to come back. It's going to come back up this road. It's going to stop right here. Although that's actually going to be unnecessary because this is just going to turn around. So it's going to come up here. It doesn't need another stop here, but it does need a stop up here near our elementary school and our field. It'll then come back over this way. It's going to stop right here near our high school again, as well as our post office and some other large businesses. It's going to come down and come over this direction. We're going to leverage this stop here. So I'm going to place one right here. It'll skip this guy. It'll cross over here. It's going to stop right here by the train. Come back down along this road. It'll stop right here. Come down here into this area. It's going to bypass all of this, and the first stops will be right here. I think I want to change these first stops. You know what? I think this changes too. I think what we do instead is we have a stop here, and we have a stop here. And then we have additional stops here. So many sections here where I have to have Anarchy. It's kind of crazy. And here. Now let's do this. All of these are no longer connected to this connection. What we're going to do instead, remove this as well. We're going to change these stops so that this is connecting here. And this is connecting here. Then this is next going to come over to this section. Stop here and stop here. It'll work its way up this road where it will then stop again here. And this will stop coming down this direction. This will stop here. This will stop here. We'll then have it stop right here in the heart of Easton, kind of giving it access to the residential area. We'll have our high school stops right here. We're then going to take this guy and move this to here. Move this to here, giving us access to the elementary school and the fields. This particular road is just going to come up to here. That means we can go ahead and remove some stops as well. We don't need that bus stop at all. With that deleted, it highlights the need for a completely new line that we don't yet have. And that line would be from Woodlawn, right here, down through Linden Park and over into Keats. Kind of reestablishing what was there, but in a slightly different way. And you can see there are taxis using this route, which tells me we might benefit from having something here. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to make a quick change to this area in that I want to see a central bus station right over here. We could place it right here along the side of this road, or we could get rid of one of these businesses. Since I don't have any demand for office, I'd like to keep it as much as possible. So let's place this here. It doesn't need extra platforms, but it should have a taxi stop. And I am going to add on the additional services. Unfortunately for this house, this is going to get a little loud, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I am going to, before we do anything, just go ahead and extend all of these surfaces. I just find that doing a little bit of surface work really changes the game. And considering this is a roundabout, we've got the space. Let's make it a nice medium roundabout, decent size there. Okay. This means that we need a whole new bus stop. New bus line. It's going to come from right here. This is where it will originate. And it's going to then come down this road. The first stop on this line is going to be right here, which is going to be near our, I believe this might be a police station. No, welfare office. This is a hospital. This is part of the firehouse. These are some like larger buildings that we have here. So there'll be a stop there. This will then continue forward, and it's going to stop right here, kind of in the downtown section of Amberwood-ish. And then it's going to come down even further, and it's going to stop right here in Hickory Hill, serving kind of everyone who lives here. We could even move that, I think, to here and get better connectivity to those guys. Let's do that instead. Then it's going to cut underneath of this highway, and it's going to wrap around and connect up into here, stop here, make this turn, and we're going to move this second stop to here. Then this is going to come right back up and through. I think this one can stop right here. People can then disperse from there. It'll work its way over to here. Stop right there. Come back over to here. We'll do another stop right here. And then it will move up and over and back to its original starting place. This one, we have a yellow line here. I think this one we're going to do maybe a green of some kind. Could be kind of fun. So we're going to start here in Woodlawn. The first one is going to start here. It'll move down along Amberwood Street, cut right through the center of Amberwood with 2 stops, and then come over here to the outskirts of Amberwood. It'll then come over here into Keats Industrial, find a way to turn itself around, and come back over and through this area. I would love if it did that turn separately or matching the other one, but I'm not gonna stress about it. And then it's gonna come back up and into here. Okay? Beautiful. Now we've got 2 lines here. We've got our Cedar Junction line, which goes this direction and comes down here. It could connect into this, but I don't think it's necessary. And then we have another line coming basically from this train all the way down to Keats Industrial, which, since this train also stops here, anyone in this area that's employed by Keats Industrial can hop on a regional rail, take the regional rail over here into Noble Square, transfer over to our bus line, and then take the bus line straight on down into Keats Industrial and be at work. Amazing. We now need another bus line. I needed to connect from this section up into here, and I think that there are going to be 2 separate lines that we're going to do here. So the first one, let's go ahead and just give it maybe an orange color. Nice and bright. The first one is going to connect from here. It's also going to utilize this road and turn this direction. It's then going to come up here and stop right here in front of a few things. We have a taxi depot. We have 2 major unique buildings which employ a ton of people. And we've got all of this residential as well as a bus station or bus terminal. This is then going to come straight forward. Remember, we turned this into asymmetrical road, and we did that partially for a reason. I think we could either go here or we could take it up even further and just connect to here. Then we take this up even further and we connect to here. This one here is right next to all of these high density buildings. This one here is right next to our high school. as well as next to our police station. This line is going to be pretty short for the moment, but it's going to expand in size as we continue to add more north of this area. We could take this line now because it's positioned here and send it up this way along the river. So to start this one, we're going to first connect to here. This line is going to come out to here. Oh, I didn't do the reverse. Whoopsie. I got too excited. Stop here. Stop here. For the moment, you're then going to come back. I got to adjust you so that you work properly, but bear with me here, folks. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of these unnecessary connections that we now have out here. There we go. So now we have an additional bus that connects you from here up and through this area, eventually heading further north. Then I think we need another one. Comes from here, but this one goes over this direction and heads up this way. I think we would not connect into these. I think this bus line would come up and over. The first stop on this bus line is going to be right here. Get rid of this old one. This way you can walk from here, turn the corner, go into the elementary school. Then we're going to send this guy up this direction, and we're going to have our next stop here in front of this Oasis Golf Club. We have a unique building here which employs a lot of people. We also have a school right here that employs people, and people need to get to that school. Then we're going to send this over, and I think for now, this may change, but for now, it's going to go this direction. We have a school here. We have 2 medium density buildings here. We have a medium density building here. We have a post office here. We have a park. Like, there's a number of things people could access here. And for now, this one will go here. Does it connect into this stop? I don't know if it does. Really, I think this stop ends up changing in the future, and instead this will continue out this way. But for now, we'll leave that there. It would then come back. It would connect up on the opposing side. I did not realize Anarchy was on for all of this. It'll stop here again. This is our firehouse. This is a parking lot. And then we've got our school. And then it's going to come back down and connect up and in. Okay. This guy, I want this to also be green, but just like a nice foresty green color, because we're going to be going over into the Oasis area. Go from here. You're going to come all the way over to here. You're going to come all the way up in front of the Oasis Golf Club, and you're going to come back over to here. Then we're going to reconnect to here. However you choose to get there is fine by me. And you're going to connect back into here, but let me just see. How do you choose to go? You choose to stop there and then head back over and around. And with that in mind, I think we'll add one other stop right here. So on your way back, you stop there, you also stop here, and then you stop here again. Okay. Unfortunately, though, you can't see that color at all. Let me first start with bus line 17. The color of this line, it's just too hard to see. So what we'll do is we'll make it more of like a chartreusey color, I guess. It's doing like a loop here, and I don't think I want it to do a loop there. What I think we do instead is this. We place the bus stop here. Remove this bus stop. Move this line to here, which then gives us a natural ability to connect to this high school. We can place one additional stop here, connect this up and in. So now this line is stopping by this high school. It's stopping by the elementary school. It's stopping by an elementary school in a unique building, and it's stopping by another elementary school as well as other businesses. You notice I've not reconnected a bus line over here yet. Part of that's intentional. Let's get to renaming these guys. If I click on this beautiful Woodlawn small bus station, we have bus line 17. Bus line 17 is going to use electric buses because most of this is in a residential area and we're trying to be quiet and respectful of our neighbors. We're going to change the name of Bustline 17. If I recall, we just do a name dash a name. Yeah, that's what I thought. Just want to make sure. I couldn't remember. We're going to go to Bustline 17, and we're going to rename this to Oasis Woodlawn. Oasis Golf Club to Woodlawn. This is Oasis Hill to Woodlawn. And I'm also going to make this electric. Why not? Bustline 11, which goes from Woodlawn down to Keats Industrial. And you know what? This will also be electric. Why the heck not? Now we've got some decent train connections, some decent bus connections. Let's just get a sense of how she's doing. She has 33 passengers waiting. This particular line here, which in the red I really love, we have 235 passengers. Let's watch these people get off. It starts to slow down as it approaches the curve. We curve up and in. Let's see what happens here. Tons of people get off. There are 38 still on this line. We're now at 43. The question becomes, do we think all these people are walking? Yeah, all these people are walking. These people are, funny enough, most of them are going towards, and these people, no, these are going towards, these are coming away. So what I want to do is I want to add one additional bus. We have a stop right here already. And this bus is going to come, and it's going to stop right here. All this bus is going to do is go from here over to here and then come back down to here. That's it. Airport loop. This is just kind of like that taxi, getting you from point A to point B. Now that I've said taxi, I realize we also should add a taxi stop in here as well. That taxi stop can be along this section where there's also no parking. But now we've got a taxi depot stop here and a bus stop here, moving people back and forth. What we're going to want to look out for is how many people wait for this bus versus doing that walk themselves. This will head down this way, pass our taxi depot, and head right on over here where we're going to then pick up 69 people. 74 people. It's going to be full. 77, 78, 79. Come on. 79. We'll take 79 and 8 dogs, which like, is there a limit to the number of animals that can be on here? Okay, again, crashing into other vehicles. This bus has already left as well. 23 people. Okay. Much stronger overall. I really like that. In between parts, I'm going to go ahead and just add additional forestry business back here. I don't think that's anything that crazy or exciting. And I think that's probably all we're going to accomplish in today's episode. But we've done a great rework, and now we've got additional trains serving this area, which I'm really excited about. What line is this? Oh, this is the Boulder Eastgate line that I totally forgot we had even created. The Boulder Eastgate line, how many trains are on that? 2? I think it can just be 1. I don't necessarily think I need 2 trains to do this. For now, 1 line can go back and forth. The Noble line will have 2, or the airport line. Yeah, it'll have 2 because we're going so much further. We can add more trains to the Boulder Eastgate line when we have more need for that. But for now, I think 1 is more than enough. All right, guys, I think that's where we're going to end this part here. A quick shout out to my channel members. Thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, click the link in the description below to unlock custom emojis, loyalty badges, early access to videos, save game files, members-only content, merchandise discounts, and more. And until next time, leave your questions, comments, and feedback down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Lorelai, follow your dad out. I can't have your tippy taps. I can't edit them out.